Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ninth Freeze the Fall watch party of the Super Sam Performance Encore YouTube channel. I'm super excited for this one. Super Sam Performance, yeah. Um, I'm excited for this watch party mainly because we're gonna do something a little bit different. We are not listening to music. We are watching a interview. Actually, it's an interview. The Straight Shooter. So it's kind of funny. We originally were watching like part of this video, in I think like in the last Freeze to Fall watch party, I believe, or something like that. Um, but anyways, turns out I was watching the wrong video. Terry or somebody gave me the link to the correct video to the trailer of the movie that Freeze to Fall was showcased in. But I decided to save this one because this one, they're doing an interview with Freeze to Fall's manager, Ginny. So I'm excited to check this one out. 2 hours long. So that means because it's an interview and because it's long, that means that this is going to be two parts. We're going to try and get to halfway here in the first in this watch party, and then in part two, or in other words in another Freeze Fall watch party, we'll try our best to get through the second half of this. So yeah, let me real quick pull up the live stream before we get started. Live, oh, come on. Live. Alright, we are live now. Let me also, real quick, make a description for this video. Whoops. There's videos live here. Here. And that. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we got the stream up, and we also got the description. Alright, so, with that being said, let's get this show on the road. This is going to be The Straight Shooters, titled Shadows of the Night, new trailer launch, and more. Hashtag Freeze the Fall. Let's go.
Truth Seekers, we are back, bitches. We are back. That's right. We've been gone for a really long time. So, welcome to another episode of The Straight Shooters. My name is Todd Braley, and with me, as always, the Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah, that sounds like me, Itai Guberman. Yeah, good to be back. Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Definitely been a while. So
we've been busy.
Yeah, we've been busy. What have we been doing, Itai?
Oh, I don't know. Kind of writing, producing, shooting a feature film.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yep. Since last time we did this, I actually got on a plane and flew to the US, and we had the Shadows of the Night production. Shot the film, which is now in post-production.
Yep. I've been diligently working on it, trying to make it as good a film as we talked about. So it was kind of one of those things that I put a lot of effort into and put a lot of effort into making it the best movie that it can be, and that's and then as I'm cutting, I'm sending stuff to a Ty, and he's looking at it, going, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that. If you cut this out, you cut that out. Um,
By the way, shout out to IIWDPN, or also known as Terry McIntyre. He was the one that suggested that I save this one for this next Freeze Fall Watch Party, which in this case is this one right now. So
it's just a process. When somebody says, "Why does it take so long to make movies?" Well, because you want to make sure that okay, well, we want to make sure that it's a good movie. Hollywood these days, not so much. Um, why? Movie title for you: Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm. Yeah, and as you like to talk about, all the people who kind of ask you that, thinking that there's like a button that you press and everything falls in, and there you go, you have a movie, does not exist. So yeah, it takes a long time. It is a lot of careful attention to a lot of things, and yeah, we will have the movie out by the end of this year, and it will be the best that we can make it. Hopefully, you will all love it as well. And in true indie fashion, we started raising money, crowdfunding, and otherwise. And of course, we did not have all the money we need, but still got on that plane. We still picked up everything we could and put that production through, and yeah, finished shooting the film. And now we're still raising money through the crowdfunding campaign for the post production, which hopefully we'll get to soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been a challenge.
Yeah, it's some people get. I mean, money is not something that. In fact, this is my first project that I've had the kind of money that.
alright, so it shows people in the live stream. Type in the chat, just so I know the chat is working. For those that are in the stream, if people are in the stream, type in the chat to make sure that the chat is working and it's not like on a really slow delay or anything. Shout out to Tim Baker in the chat. Okay, so that answers my question.
We had. I mean, we had almost $50,000. Pretty close, not quite,
Mm.
but um,
Let's just say 50,000 was probably the budget for the film, but yeah, we did not raise all of that.
no, we didn't. We didn't. That's what the budget was, and then it was like, oh, let me see what I have in my wallet. What do I have in this bank account? How many fucking
$2.76.
and do I have to pull a fucking Kevin Smith to be able to make this movie? Yes, we had to pull a Kevin Smith to get this movie done. So, and if you don't know what that is, just go ahead and look it up. I'm not gonna elaborate on that, but
It's called Going into Debt.
yes, absolutely. But we learned a lot of things making this movie, and we're going to have some people on the show here today. This is kind of a music oriented show in a sense that we're going to have Ginny Becker, who is the band manager for the band Freeze the Fall, who gave us a couple of songs for the soundtrack for the movie, which is pretty awesome. And then we're also going to have John Donovan on, who also contributed to the soundtrack, but also contributed as a composer for the score for the film as well.
Yeah,
So,
awesome artists. And yeah, we got to say, this is kind of our first time announcing that Freeze the Fall are going to be involved with the film. They're a very much popular up-and-coming Canadian.
Okay, so I'm gonna back up. So if it's fine, y'all, I'm probably gonna just watch the interview of Ginny, Um, I'm probably just gonna most likely watch the interview of just Ginny, and then that's it. Um, so yeah, let me see. Yeah, they have Ginny on here. There's the trailer. Then it cuts to. Okay. You're fine with that? Okay. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna do that just because this is a freeze to fall watch party. It's probably would make sense if I only keep in the um, freeze the freeze the fall manager interview. Um, Plus, also, I don't really want to watch a full on 2 hour video if the whole 2 hours is not just the interview with Ginny. Does that make any sense?
It's kind of our first time announcing that Freeze the Fall are going to be involved with the film. They're a very much popular up and coming Canadian rock band that we both love. I was introduced to them through a different show that I do on YouTube, sort of a music reaction show called Babylon.
One more thing before we keep going. So they mentioned up and coming rock band. I mean, yes, I would say that. I would say that. But I feel like what I would also say is, I feel like they're already here. Like they're already here. They're already in our presence. They're they're basically as at a young age they're already here, and at a young age they are just shocking the world with their vocal abilities, their instrumental abilities, um, at such a young age.
That we both love.
I'm not impressed with these guys, so yeah. In that case, you're on the same page. Alright, why is it?
I was introduced to them through a different show that I do on YouTube, sort of a music reaction show called Babylon, that I do with the South Angel, and we have reacted to a few of their songs and love them. So yeah, we got in touch and looky here. Yeah, we've got now 2 songs that are going to be featured on the soundtrack to Shadows of the Night, which is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, when Itai told me about this band, I wasn't sure. Just it's kind of one of those things. And he says, no, he says, go ahead and look them up on YouTube. And I looked them up,
Any freeze
and
the
the first
fall,
song,
any freeze the fall people in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Broken Glass and Daughters of Witches, right?
I heard of theirs was Broken Glass, and I was
That's the
like,
two
fuck, I want
songs
that
that are
song.
featured.
I want that song in our movie. And then when we talked to the band and we talked to Ginny, we were, I said, can we have 2 songs? So,
Excuse me, can I have some more?
yes. Please, may I have some more? So yeah, it's they definitely had some great music, and I think everybody that sees the movie is gonna fall in love with that band too, as well as John Donovan's music. John has this. He's also got a band called the Denim Kings. Let me see if I can do this so everybody can see.
Yeah.
So
It's also up behind me on the shelf.
yeah, Itai's got one up there too.
In between Alien and Blade.
So John does some great music as well, and he's an awesome musician. So we're going to talk to him a little bit. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and bring Ginny Becker in on this podcast. And what would you like to say about her, Itai?
Well, Ginny, as we mentioned earlier, is the band manager for Freeze the Fall. And yeah, an awesome person. And we've talked to her and the band before. And yeah, it's been awesome getting to know them, and yeah, let's do some more of that. So let's bring.
Hold on, guys. Let me answer this email thing. I want to see the interview too, but let me real quick see. I'm so glad you liked it. He can do it all. Operatic rock, rap rock, a primal screamer, theatrical. The only thing I haven't heard him do is Mongolian throat singing. Let me know if you want to hear more about him, and with him, I take the library to show you one of my favorite from the opening of one of his concerts in 2023. I hope you like it. Cool, I'll check it out. What is this? This is... Hold on, guys, I'm sorry. Hold on, guys, this won't take long. Grease. Lind. God. You're 2 days? Hua Chen Yu. Watching you, and this one is gonna be, and this one is called, I don't need that anymore. This one is called Official Watching You Mars Concert 2023. Official Hua Chen Yu Concert 2023. Wuhan 0528. Right? Yeah. Alright, sorry guys. Alright. Now we're ready to go.
No, Ginny. Okay, hello, Ginny. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for having me.
It's awesome to have you. This is our second time face to face, which is
It
cool.
is, yeah. It was nice to meet you guys the first time and grateful to be back
But first time on the
representing
show.
the band today because they couldn't be here.
Yes. The band Freeze the Fall, who we are now here to announce, will have 2 songs on the Shadows of the Night soundtrack.
That's
Which is
right.
amazing. Yeah.
We are very
Definitely a dream come true for Freeze to Fall.
Well, I'll tell you what. After I started listening to their music, and then the places that I put them into the film, I have my own Freeze the Fall playlist now.
Oh,
that
yay.
when I get in my car, crank it up,
Amazing.
and yeah, I even my youngest daughter, I turned her on to them, and so she listens
Okay.
to them now. So
Well,
everybody-
there's still a couple of amazing tracks to come on their new EP, which is dropping on June 18th. And then they're in the middle of writing for a full length album now. So there's just more music to come.
right on.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I became familiar with their music through Babylon, another show that I do with
Freeze the Fall, Red Garden.
the South Angel, and thought about the idea of bringing them onto the film. And now Todd has heard more songs than I have because I can't listen to the stuff until we do it on the show.
That's fair. So he has advanced knowledge.
Yes, I'm just jealous. That's all.
and it's pretty well. And the thing about it is, the one thing that I love about the music is the young people doing real music, and that is a big deal, especially these days, since you have so many bands out there that are just, you know, I don't know, man. There's not even really any bands anymore. You know, there's singers that sing to
Yeah.
tracks.
I think the thing that's
Pretty
always
much.
been exciting for the family around the band is that just despite their youth, they're writing about things that matter, and they're writing about them from the lens of youth, which I think is super important. And they do a great job of taking on some pretty big issues in really sort of metaphorical and storytelling ways, which is a pretty great thing to witness.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a blast, breaking down the songs on Babylon on the show that we do. Sort
They
of,
love your
reaction video.
breakdowns. A bit like
A
you
lot of
nailed
fun.
the last one on your breakdown of the lyrics. They're like, wait, he totally got it. So yeah, that's it. They love people who really dive into the lyrics because their lyrics are never about nothing. If that makes sense,
Was
they're
that
always
yeah.
was that?
Yeah.
No, that was hypothermia. The last one. Yes.
I will say that is true on what Ginny said. Their lyrics are never about nothing. That is one thing that I'll say is really cool, but it's true. Like their lyrics, there's always something about their lyrics of why they chose those words as the lyrics, besides others. Really cool. Watching/listening or while doing some other work on my computer. No problem. Appreciate you hanging out. Shout out to Corpse Hatch in the chat.
yeah.
But
And
before that,
just
we did Daughters of Witches, which is going to be on our soundtrack. So
yeah. And the breakdown, it's interesting because the band is always the first to say, like, the song means to you whatever you heard.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about music. But they've always written it about something to them, how it's
Obviously.
translated. Like the last conversation you guys had on Babylon, neither of you were wrong. You just happened to hit it kind of more what they meant, but both interpretations were equally valuable in terms of what the song was touching on. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the reason we don't like research the songs before we do them. We don't listen to them before. It's all like a first time listen, first reaction, first time seeing the lyrics and everything, and just kind of trying to get a reaction that is genuine on the spot and not something that we previously thought about or
Yeah.
researched. As some people do. And some of our audience has been complaining about that. Like they want us to research, and most of our audience saying, no, do what you're doing, keep breaking it down on the show. It's a lot more fun. So yeah,
well, it's
but,
more fun for the band for sure because again, it in a way
Exactly, Tim. Just like the warning. Yeah.
it doesn't really
And Rush.
matter what it means to them. It's always for them what it means to the listener, and it could mean something to you today and something different to you tomorrow. So that's kind of their hope is that people just connect to it in a way that matters to them. So
yeah, that's kind of what art is all about.
yeah,
Yeah. And the one thing that we've repeatedly said on the show is that they are old souls. Just from the way they write and even the way they compose their music. It's not quite, as Todd said, it's not quite like newer bands do it. It's like there's something a little bit old school about the way they put the songs together. Just amazing, like these catchy choruses.
yeah.
And
The hooks
even
are
yeah,
crazy in all of
yeah,
their
yeah.
songs. The hooks are really, I mean, it's like, okay, Breaking Glass, I will say that is my absolute favorite song
Shout out to Tommy Mark in the chat.
that they've done.
And it's funny because going into the EP, I think if they were here, they would tell you initially it was their least favorite of the songs they took into the EP, and it was the one that it didn't change very much in pre-pro either. It's pretty much how the way it was originally written, but it has been one that's really really connected with audiences in terms of that hook and how it connects. So but again, just depends on the person.
Yeah, I love that song. Absolutely love that song, and it kind of
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna back it. Okay, what the heck? I'm not even
um,
back up. I mean, yeah, what Ginny said about it depends on the person. yes, it depends on the person. Um, Broken Glass is, in my opinion, Broken Glass, you guys can have a different opinion, but in my opinion, Broken Glass is just flat out just a classic from Freeze to Fall. Just like, I don't know, it's just like one of their like main, well, it was the first song, let's start with that. It was the first song I ever reacted to from Freeze to Fall. It was the song that got my entire, excuse me, it was the first song that got me on this entire Freeze to Fall journey. Um, Hint is why I'm here today doing this video. Um, but, yeah, I think Freeze the Fall, Broken Glass, was a hit for Freeze the Fall. It impacted fans in a good way. It had connection with fans in a good way as well. But in my opinion, if I'm gonna be honest, as far as like the main song that really took the stage, that like that just like what got sent out there and made fans think like wow, was VHS. Because VHS, number one, it came out on Halloween. Number two, just like the drums and everything in V8 in the song is just killer. It's amazing. Not to mention released on Halloween. Not to mention the visuals. It definitely matched the Halloween theme. But no, I really think VHS, in my opinion, Broken Glass and VHS, they're like one, they're like some of the two, like, just classics of Freeze Fall, in my opinion.
So, but again, just depends on the person.
Yeah, yeah, I love that song. Absolutely love that song. And it kind of where a place in the movie that I used it is right when things are coming to a head to go into the third act of the film, and that's where I put that song. And then the Daughters of Witches is earlier in the is early.
I was correct. Daughters of Witches and Broken Glass. I did some investigating, and it turns out, according to YouTube history, the first song I heard from Freeze to Fall was One Left Standing and Insomnia. Oh, interesting. I will be honest, One Left Standing is fire. One Left Standing is a really good song. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I swear.
Connects. So, but again, just depends on the person.
Yeah, yeah, I love that song. Absolutely love that song. And it kind of where a place in the movie that I used it is right when things are coming to a head to go into the third act of the film, and that's where I put that song. And then the Daughters of Witches is earlier in the movie, and that kind of takes us into a part of the film that is the delving into the dark web, going to look for things that you probably shouldn't be looking for.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Breaking Glasses.
It'll be fun to see
Broken
Freeze to
Glass.
Fall do a reaction to the movie.
Yeah, I would
Oh, yeah.
I would actually send them the two scenes and let them watch them. I mean, with
That would be really cool, I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely react to that video for sure. React to their reactions of their parts in the movie. It's really cool. I've seen so many Freeze to Fall videos that everything became a blur. I didn't see the Evolve cover until the third performance. Nice. Awesome.
Broken Glass, I had, and I had to kind of, because I wanted the end of the song to end this section, because it's about a 45 seconds to 1 minute section. And so I went in and I had to edit the song because I wanted the end of the song to end. So I pieced it together so it'd be funny to see them go, God, you call that out?
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting because I say it'll be fun to have them do a reaction to the movie itself too at some point.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll get I'll export those sections and when the movie's all done and give it to them and let you guys do whatever you're going to do with it.
Yeah, and
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yep.
Cool.
We can let them watch the movie and see what they think, see how they critique us.
Yeah.
Mostly
They would
Tom.
love it because they're big horror movie fans. They all are, but especially Jonah. Jonah's got like encyclopedic knowledge of horror movies. He's a horror movie buff for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
I just love the fact that why does it seem like it's always the guys that have the insane like mind that can remember everything, it seems like. But no, what I was gonna say was that is one thing I do know is they are horror fans. So yeah, that would be interesting if they do indeed. If they happen to if they were to post a reaction of them reacting to the movie, or at least reacting to parts, the 2 parts of the movie where their songs come on. I'll be really interesting to see how they react, because again, horror movie fans. So it'll be really interesting. Would be really interesting. Is this guy on the left a producer or something? Who are these people? So the girl right here. You can see my mouse. Okay, yeah, you can see my mouse. This girl right here is Ginny. She is the manager for Freeze the Fall. She is the manager of the band. However, these two guys right here, I think they're like Corpse Hatch. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think these 2 guys are like the directors or something of the movie Shadows of the Night. I think. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, Corpse Hatch. But I want to say they're like the directors or something of the movie. She is the manager of Freeze the Fall. So they are the producers / directors of the movie being discussed. Okay, yeah, okay. So it's partially correct. Yeah, directors / producers. Okay, yeah. But yeah.
It's important to note that everything that went right with the film is to do with me. Everything that went wrong is Todd. So, just to be clear. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, it's been really interesting. This process. The band was actually in an interview not long ago where they were asked to describe like the genre of their music, and it was so interesting to watch them sort of struggle to like really put a pin in it, and at the same time, I think they kind of celebrate that they can't, because again, they're still evolving their musical journey. They never want to put a box around every song has to sound like this, or we have to, measure up to this genre. And in fact, what's still to come on the EP, I think will really surprise some people. There's 2 very different songs coming. And I think that's, what's keeping audiences really interested too, is the band is still willing to just write the music they want to write and with no expectation. And, so it's a little bit hard to define sometimes, but that's okay. It's funny on applications though, because it's so you're this, or this when you're applying to a festival, and we hover
Yeah.
between two or three. You're like, I don't know, what do we want to call ourselves today? But yeah, I think it's a good way to be.
Yeah.
Because like the umbrella.
That's something I will agree on. I mean, I feel like that's always something that's good for a band, artist, or group, or whoever. Um, I feel like that's always good for people to for people that are like singers and stuff. I feel like it's really cool to keep that in mind. But at the same time, it's really cool when you see bands, groups, or artists like that, where they don't really necessarily um, care too much about sticking to just one genre. Um, and the reason I say that is because I know there are a lot of artists that would generally probably like to just stick to at least probably one genre, maybe two, but half the time just one genre. So I think it's really cool how Freeze to Fall is one of those bands where they don't really care as far as like how many as far as like um, what genres they do and stuff. Like for example, Ginny was just mentioning how, because of course at the time they were still working on the Red Garden EP. There's like two songs or so on the EP, two new songs or so on the EP where both songs are completely different. So it might shock some people. It might surprise some people as far as how different both songs are. I think that's really cool.
That I put around it, and I just say rock.
Always hard to put themselves in a box. I love bands that are always changing their sound. I agree. Yeah, always changing the sound just without just not staying to the same. Because I'm going to be honest. Okay? I'm going to be honest. There are some times where I feel like fan bases can get a little sick of the same sound, like over and over and over. So it's very nice how Freeze Fall is one of those one of those bands where they don't stick to the same thing over and over and over. They change up here and there, so that's really cool.
And I wouldn't even get specific because some songs are a little bit pop rock, others are more heavy, and they're all just as good. And that's the amazing part, you know. Like after we did the episodes, after every recording, I was like humming their songs for a week. You know, it was stuck in my head, and just yeah, and it's just
That brings in the term. This is a good time to bring in the term. You don't know how. You don't know how it's gonna sound like unless you try it. Right? So it's like, I don't know if this is necessarily a good example or not, but it's kind of like, so it's like food, trying out different foods, but at the same time also just trying out different things. You don't know how it's going to work out, how it's going to play out, unless you try it. Nothing's going to happen unless you try it. So that's really cool.
I didn't even know the words, and I found.
Boring, however, Rush, Dream, Theater, Bandmate, Nemophila, and The Warning always evolving their sound. Exactly. Shout out to Julia Burnett in the chat. The Warning are their own genre. Agree. Yeah. Alright.
That I knew the chorus somehow, you know, and it's just just amazing. I think like the
Well, I don't think
breakdown
you've had
wise,
Juliet yet, right?
that's coming.
Yeah. That's
When-
I think you'll like that one. That one's different again.
we actually have a bit of a break in recording for the show for June. We recorded a ton of episodes before, but after after June sort of ends, at the end of June or start of July, we start recording again, and it's on the list already. It's been requested too, so we've got some Freeze the Fans, Freeze the Fall fans. Who follow our show, which is pretty cool because they request the song. So
Awesome.
because I was like, oh, I really want to hear the new single. I really want to hear the new single. I wish someone requested it already, and then came in, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
That's amazing. We're grateful. We had the band has a very loyal and passionate fan base for sure. We've been so grateful. You know, there's been almost 600 reaction videos made to Freeze the Fall, originals and covers in just over a year and a half. It's
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of reactions, if I'm going to be honest. But no, the reason for my pause here was because, I mean, fan base being loyal, 100% agree. These fans, it's... Okay, so I was mentioning this about another artist. Her name is Angelina Jordan. I did a watch party on her yesterday, right? Anyways, about like 2 minutes. It took only about like 2 minutes, right? It only took about 2 minutes or so for my entire stream to be flooded with, or not entire stream, but my entire chat to be flooded. That's how big her fan base is, and it's the same way with Freeze the Fall. It's the same way with Freeze the Fall's fan base. They come pretty quickly. It might not be within 2 minutes, but it's still really quick. Like, you guys... Basically, what I'm trying to say is Freeze the Fall's fan base is great. Is really good. When it comes to, like, requesting Freeze the Fall songs, checking in with reactors, after they do Freeze the Fall reactions, all that stuff. Freeze the Fall's fan base is a beast.
wild, really. And you know, we're really incredibly supportive and grateful for the reactors.
Are you guys talking about a movie? Kiss? Is that a movie? What is that? Let me know down in the chat what are you guys talking about.
And wanting to make sure that their opportunity to respond to the music is protected, because you know we could
No, it's the song. Never mind.
never have afforded to pay for the amount of exposure that reactors have given to this music. And it's interesting to me that so much of this industry doesn't see that as the opportunity.
Yeah, I found that out just before you guys typed that in. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch them. I've heard of them before, and I've seen them. Not seen them literally, but I mean, like you see videos pop up of them, right? At some point, so I see them, and yeah, they just don't seem like a band that I would come in fond with. That didn't make any sense. They don't seem like a band that I would enjoy, that I would genuinely enjoy listening to, like The Warning, or Freeze the Fall, or Bandmade, or all these other bands. Kiss is not one of those bands.
Opportunity that it is. So,
And that is a fact.
you know, we've formed some pretty great relationships with the reactor community, and just trying to give back to them in the same way they're giving back to us, which is amazing.
Maybe crashing a boys bands, a boys party here. Maybe.
Well, and the people,
Yeah.
the reactors, those are the people that people listen to now.
Yeah. And we have reactors who were like flying across the continent to see Freeze the Fall
Crash away.
play music, which is, as a manager and obviously as the parent, that's still bananas to me. We were at a show, they did a show at one of their favorite venues called Crown of Thieves here in Kelowna. That was the venue where they filmed the first 5 music videos. And we did a show there back in February, and there was a couple there that had driven from Seattle, Washington, to our little town here, which is about a 6.5 hour drive. And my husband and I and the kids have driven that drive in the opposite direction to see all kinds of bands, count Metallica, Alter Bridge, all these big bands that we've traveled to Seattle for since we were in our 20s, and all of a sudden people were traveling from Seattle to us.
That's really cool, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you're constantly going to, like, a particular place, specifically a particular state, to constantly see these big bands, artist groups, whatever, to see these big, like, celebrities. And then all of a sudden, to have them constantly coming to you. That's really cool.
To see our kid and this band, it's a pretty overwhelming feeling. But, these are reactors and super fans that, are making a point of trying to help this band achieve their dreams. And it's not an easy dream. Like, they have not chosen a simple path.
No, they haven't.
But, it's certainly being supported by a lot of great people.
Well, and like I said, the reactors are who people listen to for bands.
Yeah.
Again, music critics don't matter anymore. And I think when you said that people that people don't
I would assume so, Julia.
kind of understand why reactors are a thing.
It would not make sense if that was not the case.
Well, the record companies, they haven't even caught up with streaming music now. So
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things that that's where everybody goes looking. They
It was
want to
funny
know
that you
about
should
it.
say why reactors are a thing, because I was one of them. I'll be perfectly honest. Before the band I had no idea it was a thing. And then when we put up those first videos, all of a sudden, the notification on YouTube is up, something's happened, and we're starting to watch them. We're like, what is this? And then quickly realizing what an amazing opportunity that was for the band to get exposure, when you're on limited budget and, with no really existing exposure. And it's a bit like a domino effect. One reactor picks it up, and then they have a community of reactors, and those ones pick it up, and it just kind of has a never-ending positive outcome, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Look at the warning. Other than the yearly big CDMX shows, they just play the music and don't need to rely on a huge stage production to get over with the crowd. Fact. Simple. Easy. Just straight on fact.
Also, I've seen a lot of artists actually put out videos with kind of like a montage of all these reactions that would come to a song of theirs. And it's amazing to see how many there are and how much of, I don't know, an emotional thing it becomes. Like,
We have a short one somewhere like that is like it's just a bit of an homage to the reactor community. It shows all their faces, and then it just keeps getting bigger, this big screen of faces. But yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of bands do that. But like you're saying, initially you didn't even know sort of what reactions were all about. For me, I actually saw some reactions, and I had, I don't know, some kind of not exactly negative, but kind of indifferent approach to it all. Because a lot of people are kind of maybe more old school, and they say, reactions, that's just stupid. Just go and watch the original video yourself. These reactors do nothing but use other people's material to talk about, but they're not really creating anything new. And I was somewhere in the middle on that before we started. And when we started the show, it was to talk about movies, and then we kind of shifted to music, and then noticed how happy it makes so many people to kind of, I don't know, sort of like vicariously experience this thing. Like they see how reactors react to songs they love, and it just makes them so happy. And it took
And
me
it
a while.
creates a massive sense of community. Like what we've seen,
Absolutely.
like we have.
Oh Lord, it does. Oh Lord, it does. Well, actually, I was about to comment there. Comment on what they just mentioned there. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, the first impression for people when they think of reactions, exactly what this dude said. This dude mentioned how, like, why don't you just go to the original video? You don't have to watch the reaction, just go to the original video. But then I think as time went on and reactions became more of a bigger thing, I feel like people started realizing that reactions are give people the chance to check out music on YouTube, like as a channel. It's very fun actually. Like I like take me for perspective, since I'm a reactor. Take me for perspective. I actually genuinely enjoy doing these reactions. Because one, it's a lot of fun. Two, it gets to show. Two, I get to experience trust me, a whole bundle more of music than what I thought was out there, right? Um, and three, it also creates a fan base like you guys, for example. So, I think reaction channels are kind of, in a way, the blessing of, um, I'll say the blessing of YouTube. But yeah, I don't care for Kiss, but they are famous for some reason. Well, they were very famous a few decades ago. The Warning are so down to earth and sweet young ladies that great parents at HSD a lot to do with that, what I call raised right. Agree. Right on, Tommy. Julie Burnett. Marketing, Gene Simmons is a marketing genius. He was able to market the Kiss brand to keep the band relevant after they became stale. Yeah, makes sense. Corpse Hash. Hola, everyone. Happy to be here. Shout out to Terry McIntyre in the chat. We're still talking about the band. We're still talking about about Kiss, the band.
It's been really amazing to actually see at our shows now, like at the FTF shows when people are coming. They've created a community through the reactor community where now they're finding each other and connecting with each other, and that's that. Music is a thing, but reactors are giving people a way to build community around it, and we could never do that on our own. The band and the family around them. There's only so much time in a day and so many hours, but the way the reactors are connecting people, and that's to your point, giving a sense of community, and we have a lot of fans who take a lot of pride in how they're supporting us and
Exactly, Terry. Reactors are the new radio DJ. Exactly.
recommending us to new reactors, and it really makes.
Wish that I never brought them up, even as a band that absolutely sucks. They sure are. No worries, Tim.
Some feel connected to something, and that's pretty special.
Yeah. And as with social media and internet and everything like that, it kind of made the world smaller in that regard, where you can actually now connect with people on the other side of the world just that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's certainly different like camps of some like some of the reactors I would say to me are more true reactors where they're doing that piece of like really diving in. Some of them are like from a musical engineering background. Some of them are more lyrically diving in. Then there's ones that
Vocal
are more like
coaches.
just listen, did they like it, did they not? And that to me more like a review in a way, like
Yeah.
that's more of a rating. But there's different kind of approaches to it. But we find it really interesting to see, and we watch every single one. There's been, in fact, as of this morning, 500, I believe, 97 reaction videos. We watched every single one of them. So
There's more coming.
yeah, there's more coming, and that's exciting. We may not always be able to watch all of them, but we try really hard to react and connect to people through them. So
Just stopped by to say hi, everyone. Just arrived back home from my trip, so gotta go unpack. But this is actually a super interesting video, so I'm coming back to hear the rest later. Curious about this. No worries, Julia. Yes, this is an interesting video. I will be honest. Agree, Tommy, and helping freeze the fall too. Appreciate you hanging out, Julia. We'll see you in the next one.
and that brought us to here. We're now
Enjoy packing.
the band's music is going to be in a horror movie, which a year and a half ago when we started talking about goals and dreams, this was on the list. So it's pretty cool.
Well, funnily enough, the band kind of communicated that without communicating it by releasing VHS, which is a song of theirs that has a music video that is pretty much a horror film. And when we reacted to it, we actually said, "This is like a short horror film," and we actually in our breakdown.
We kind of want to make it into a
lyrics-
short now. I'm not gonna lie. there's been talk.
Well, yeah, you have a couple of script writers, directors here who can help out.
Yeah.
But when we broke down and reacted to the song, one of the things we said that it feels like the band's kind of homage or them wanting to kind of get into that whole horror film thing, and that's when it sort of popped into my mind. I'm like, hang on a second, we're working on Shadows of the Night. That
That'd be
music
cool.
would be very, very fitting. So yeah,
And
so we started this
people
whole
don't
thing.
something people don't necessarily know is that the band had never done any acting, zero. They showed up on set that day with the director Evan Riley, and he was like, "So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna cut off your arm, and then it's gonna go." And they, he was brilliant in it. Like, he's amazing. And in fact, if you guys ever want to chat with him, he would. You guys would have such an amazing conversation with him. He's such a creative mind, and he brings so much ability to help the band really realize what the visual come to life of their lyrics is. And so it was a real brainstorm between him and the band and myself, and bringing that to life was everything. But when they showed up on set, I don't even know that the band had a sense of how deep they were going to have to go into these characters that day. And it was quite something to see Evan coach this performance out of these. At the time, they were all 15 and 16 years old. First time, and the vulnerability, as you guys know, that it takes for a seasoned actor to go into these sort of dark and tough spaces is quite something. So to see these kids pull it off was pretty amazing.
They committed, man. I remember watching that video the first time. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, Arya
Wow.
was literally strapped to
Yeah.
that ceiling for 7 hours. It
Yeah.
was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we commented
Wow. 7 hours. Good night.
on that on Babylon as well when
I'm still shocked that Quinn and Arya that Quinn, Arya, Jonah never did any acting until the VHS video. True. Why I was excited when I found the warning and now Freeze Fall. Phil Zero said that it's really hard for Canadian bands to break out. Think reactors are helping at them here. I would say so. I would say so.
we reacted to the video and we said, their acting is really really convincing. I was like, they really committed. They really went into it. And when we had the chat with you guys,
I'm gonna be honest, that's one thing that I watch reactors. Sometimes I watch reactors react to VHS, and that is like one of the main key like topics they talk about in those reactions is the acting. The acting is insane. Like it actually look with the way they act, with the way their acting skills are in that video, legitimately makes it look real, makes it look legitimate. Yeah, just insane.
really committed. They really went into it. And when we had the chat with you guys, that's one of the things we talked about. We said, hey, if they ever want to act, yeah, we'll have roles for them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like that, the Foo Fighters made that horror movie in
Studio
they rented the
666.
house and made a horror movie.
666.
That's for sure going to be a freeze to follow come someday. I'm certain of it.
well, we have I took the video that we got from you guys and I did some stuff with it, and I'd like to play that now if I could, and have you watch the trailer, and then we'll come back and talk about it. How's that sound?
Sure thing.
Well, just before we do that, we kind of need to say we have a new trailer.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it's exciting.
It's something we haven't said to the audiences yet. So we put together a new trailer for Shadows of the Night, and we are now launching it for the first time here. So yeah.
So we're gonna let the band introduce it.
Hey, we're Freeze the Fall. Guess what? We got some big news. 2 of our songs, Daughters of Witches and Broken Glass, are going to be in the soundtrack for an indie horror film.
Yeah.
It's called Shadows of the Night, and it's directed by Todd E. Braley. Disclaimer, sorry if we pronounce any of these names.
Yes, lots of names in this, so we
Yeah.
hope we get it all right.
We were looking forward to the film's release before the end of the year. It's been a dream of ours for a long time, so it's really cool that it's finally happening.
Yeah.
Todd has just finished putting together a trailer for the film, so check that out.
Shadows of the Night stars brilliant newcomer Lillian Davis alongside indie legends Deborah Lamb and Villaverse Jr. They have an active crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, so please check it out if you can.
Yes, thank you all so much. Here's the trailer. Check it out!
I found this sick-ass website on the dark web.
What's the site?
What are we downloading today?
Just some stuff for homework.
You hacked into the school servers and you changed other students' grades. Why?
I don't know, the money? There you are, you bastard.
A new video for next week with a special guest.
She said she watched a video of a real-life exorcism.
Friend told me about this really messed up website with all kinds of different videos.
And what made you want to watch a video like that?
Is this what I got you that damn computer for? Dismantle that contraption and bring it to me.
Are you scared yet, Chief?
The Lord isn't exactly welcome.
my son could be setting upon you.
No, that's amazing.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you guys are, for those who are not horror fans, or not really horror fans, what you do, and this works, what you do to not watch it, to not watch, the trailer, is you quickly tap on the other tab, that's open, and you just literally just scroll for days. Two great bands tell me I would add a Triumph for the Canadian bands that I listen to. Triumph, that's right. I didn't even know Triumph was a band, if I'm going to be honest. With You, Terry, by Freeze the Fall. Sam, good stream, buddy. Appreciate that, Tommy. We'll see you in the next one. Appreciate you hanging out in the chat and in the live as well. Movie looks really good. Yeah, did that, Sam.
Well, they're gonna be excited.
I was just gonna ask, could you actually hear? Because I, for some reason, lost sound on.
Yeah, I couldn't hear some of it. In the early part, I got some of it, but visually, it's amazing. I look forward to.
We did a test earlier. I could hear it fine. Everything was fine.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll send you the link to the trailer later.
Amazing,
so you
yeah.
can,
Am I okay to show it to them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Well, they're going to be very excited. Like I say, this has been such a, I don't think they could have ever imagined it would happen this soon in their career, but they're very excited about being connected to horror in such a visceral way so early.
Well, it's definitely, the music fits right in with the aesthetic of the movie and what the movie's about, and so it's awesome to have them be a part of it, because we're just, we're super excited. And after Itai told me, you got to check the band out, and I listened, and I was like, oh damn, that's the song, I want that song. And I want that song.
Well, then, we were talking early on about VHS, and VHS, incidentally, we accelerated the completion of the VHS music video because we were invited for that video to be the opening element of the Vancouver Horror Show, which is British Columbia's biggest horror festival. Which they would have been so cool if they'd been able to go, but they couldn't go because they were doing a gig the same night. But so this is their next big step in the connection to horror, and they would love to do more work in the space. You look at work like Iceland Kills and some of the stuff that they do with horror connection to music. I don't imagine this will be their last foray. It'll be in one of your movies someday.
No, I'll take them. I'll take them.
Yep.
Seeing their acting chops in VHS. I was, like I said, they were committed, and that was off the chain. They did a really awesome job in that.
And even if like Todd and I were talking a while back and said, we're working on several types of films, even if they're not horror, we'd still have to have them on if they want to act, because they are that good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well,
And with
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, with the music videos, the one thing that both Asaf and I noticed right away is that there is a cinematic aspect to each and every one of them, and as you mentioned earlier, the storytelling factor comes into it, and it's almost like watching a short film, like they're telling a story, like they have a real.
Wait till you see the next one. Wait to see what's coming.
Oubliette?
Rot.
Okay, Oubliette is the one that just released, yes?
Yeah, Oubliette's out, and then Rot will be the feature song on the EP drop on June 18th. And because this was, it's interesting because I don't have to tell you guys this, but the storytelling music videos are expensive to make. And we can't do it for every song. The band, if it was up to the band, they'd have a video that told the story. Because the album is a concept album, and all of these songs connect together, we're bringing that story to life that connects the songs through the music videos. So it's hard when you have to kind of skip one and you can't do the justice to the story because financially it's just not. It's not possible to do that for every song. So I don't know what they're gonna do on a full length album because there's like 11 songs and you definitely can't do them all. But that storytelling aspect is so important to them because more than anything else, if I had to describe Freeze the Fall, they're storytellers, and so their music is never accidental, and the music videos are probably.
I think for people after watching the VHS video, watching how good their acting skills were in the video, I think 100% without a doubt they would go out and say, yeah, they're storytellers.
I think all of them would tell you it's their favorite part of this whole thing is making music videos because they get to bring the story to life visually for the listeners, and it's a pretty exciting experience.
Very much an audio-visual band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's both music to listen to and it's amazing to watch. That's the thing. So yeah, they got it on all fronts. I love the lyrics. The songwriting. It's just well beyond their ears, I have to say.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So Ginny, thanks so much for joining us here on the Straight Shooter Show, and tell the band we said hi. And we're waiting for.
And we'll definitely set up like a proper sit down when you're getting closer to releasing the movie. I think that would be really fun to have the band sit back down with you. This timing was just hard because they have an EP dropping in a couple weeks, the biggest show of their life in 2 weeks, final exams in 2 weeks, and things are a little crazy right now. So
Yeah,
we're just trying to survive.
This show of ours, that we do the Straight Shooters. Todd and I kind of brought this back from a long hiatus. We stopped recording episodes before we got into the production.
I agree, it was Corpse to Hatch.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of bringing it back to to launch the trailer and later on to launch the film. And when we do that, we'd love to have you and the band on and
Great.
talk about all of this. That would be
For
awesome.
sure. Well, we would love to come back.
All right.
Mm.
Well, awesome.
And
Ginny,
thank you
thanks
again for joining us.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right.
A lot of
Thanks,
fun.
too.
Thanks
See
a
you
lot.
later.
So as we mentioned earlier, next up we have some.
There you go, guys. That was my first ever, basically, reaction to the interview of the producers slash directors of the movie Shadows of the Night, interviewing Freeze the Falls manager Ginny. So that was really cool. It was fun to see her answers to certain questions, and what I mean by that is it was fun to see her take on certain things. As far as to hear what she shared some of the things the band did and stuff that probably a lot of people weren't aware of or didn't know. So that was really cool. Yeah, that was overall just a lot of fun. Again, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna watch the interview for this next guy. I can't remember his name, but the point of this Freeze the Fall watch party was just to watch the interview with Ginny, and that's what we did. So, but yeah, overall, just really enjoyed it, and yeah, if they do happen to sometime come back and these guys, the producers slash directors, interview again Ginny and Freeze the Fall and stuff again, I would definitely take a look at that for sure. But yeah, overall, they are still in school. Oh, you just reminded me, Tim. Yeah. And yeah, that's the other thing too. It's just scheduling. It can get really hard with scheduling sometimes, especially for someone like a band. Especially, scheduling can sometimes be a pain in the butt. because of course, you know, they're battling with school. They were, well, of course, at this time they had final exams coming up. They had an EP drop coming up. Same thing with basically the biggest show ever coming up as well. So they just had a lot on their schedule at this time. So they weren't able, unfortunately, at this time, weren't able to jump on and do an interview. But hopefully, sometime in the near future, they'll have their schedule free up, and sometime they'll be able to do it. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. If you guys enjoyed this watch party, enjoyed the Ginny Freeze Fall interview, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below in the comment section for any requests. Type the artist, song by the artist. I'll make sure to react to it. Same thing for Throwback Thursday. If you guys have any Freeze the Fall requests, just comment below. Same thing. I'll make sure to react to it. Like, subscribe. As always, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hold on, let me catch up with the chat here. Alright, shout out to Tim Baker, Corpse Hash. Shout out to Terry McIntyre. Also shout out to Tommy Mark. Give a shout out to, I think that's it, actually. Shout out to Julia Burnett. I almost forgot about her. Shout out to Julia Burnett. And that is it. So yeah, with that being said, guys, good stream. Appreciate that, Corpse Hatch. See you later. We'll see you in the next one, Tommy. But yeah, with that being said, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out, guys.